What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And the Las Vegas Raiders may have just made a massive mistake that could end up helping the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about it right after this. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back into another video on my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we had some breaking news over the past couple of days coming out of the Las Vegas Raiders facility, as they have now decided to release defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. This is coming from Adam Schefter of ESPN. Raiders are releasing defensive tackle Christian Wilkins with the designation of terminated vested veteran. His time in Las Vegas is now over. Due to how Wilkins treated the rehab from his foot injury he suffered last season, the Raiders voided the remaining $35.2 million of guaranteed money left on Wilkins' contract last month and today. Wilkins filed a grievance with the NFLPA. Also wanted to throw this in, but Ari Meyerov of My Sports Update followed this up by saying, per ESPN, the belief is Christian Wilkins was told he needed another surgery on his foot, but he balked at getting it. The reason the Raiders voided his guarantees was due to what they cited as a failure to maintain his physical condition to play. So, of course, that led to the Las Vegas Raiders ultimately deciding to release Christian Wilkins. And we do know that it is a new regime in Las Vegas, and Christian Wilkins was signed by the previous regime. So a lot of times what happens is you have these players that, were under the old regime, brought in under the old regime, either the new head coach or the new GM. They don't see a fit there, or there's something that they don't quite like. Maybe they think he didn't fit the culture. And whatever Christian Wilkins was doing, I guess the Raiders decided he wasn't a fit for the culture. They thought he wasn't taking his rehab seriously. I believe he was slated to start training camp on the physically unable to perform list. The Raiders didn't like where this was headed, but a huge development, for a guy that was signed just last offseason for the Las Vegas Raiders. And they signed him to a huge contract with a lot of guaranteed money. The rest of his guaranteed money is now being voided by the Las Vegas Raiders. But, of course, he filed a grievance with the NFLPA, so we'll see what comes of that. But for now, Christian Wilkins is looking for a new team. And the question a lot of people are asking is, could the Kansas City Chiefs sign Christian Wilkins? Because, and this was something that I thought of immediately too when I saw the news, because the Chiefs defensive tackle position, because we need to start there, I think. The Chiefs defensive tackle position, I think, is in a good spot right now, but it's not in a spot to where you can pass up on adding a talent like this if you have the opportunity and if you think, everything checks out. Now, the big thing is, would he be able to pass a physical? Could you sign him right now? And maybe the answer is no. But maybe this is someone that, you could sign later on, because I don't know how long it's going to take for him to sign, if teams are going to wait it out. It has been reported that Christian Wilkins would like to play for a contender, and that obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs fall under that category, so they're an appealing destination to Christian Wilkins. The Kansas City Chiefs can also offer the opportunity to play the Raiders twice next year and kind of get back at them, and I think that's an underrated talking point. That's worth a discussion too, because I think, these players, they do have an ego, they do have, extra motivation sometimes coming from situations like these, and the Chiefs can offer that opportunity to go up against the Raiders twice a year. But that could be a whole nother conversation. But here's the thing. The Chiefs have the luxury, I think, if they wanted to sign Christian Wilkins, and let's just say he's not ready to play until week 8, week 9, or later in the season. You can afford that luxury, and then to have reinforcements like that coming, late in the season for the stretch run to add a boost to your pass rush, to your defensive line. I think that would be an ideal situation for both the Kansas City Chiefs and Christian Wilkins. Now, my thoughts are all over the place. I was talking about before that how the Chiefs defensive tackle position isn't in a place where you should pass up on adding a talent like this if you have the opportunity. Omar Norman Lott has drawn good reviews from camp so far. We're all excited about him, but he's a rookie, and he's probably more of a situational third down pass rusher, especially as a rookie. And then you have Jerry Tillery, who, I'm actually a big fan of. I like that signing a lot, but definitely Jerry Tillery is not precluding you from making a move like this. And then you have Mike Pinnell, who, is a solid veteran. You know what he's going to give you, but he is getting up there in age. That's someone that you definitely want to give a breather, I think, during the regular season, and then utilize his strengths, in the postseason again for the stretch run. And then we all know what Chris Jones is capable of, but bringing in a partner on the inside like Christian Wilkins, who can play, 2-3 downs and plays very strong. I mean, has over 22 sacks in his career so far, signed that huge deal after a career year, 9 sacks to the Miami Dolphins. This was actually a guy that when we weren't sure if Chris Jones was going to come back or not, before the Chiefs extended him, I was saying, if you can't keep Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins was the first guy that I would turn to, because even though he's not nearly as good of a pass rusher as Chris Jones, he is a damn good run defender, has recorded an above 78 run defense grade from PFF over the last 4 seasons. This is someone who's very stout against the run, but can also give you a little bit of pass rush juice. Again, plays very strong, has a really good frame, and the way he plays, I really like. So this was a guy that I was a big fan of even before he went to the Las Vegas Raiders, and that I was kind of looking at as a contingency plan for Chris Jones. But if you were to pair him up with Chris Jones, man, how good is this pass rush if you had Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins, George Karlaftis, Charles Omenihu, Ashton Gelati rotating in there along with Felix and Mike Dana. Like, that's a very, very strong group. And it just gives you another body there, a fresh body, especially, again, if he's not able to play until later in the season, that's fine. The Chiefs can afford that, but definitely a guy that they could use, in my opinion. Now, the question is, if you're Christian Wilkins, are you trying to get back some of that guaranteed money that you lost by signing a big deal with another team? Is another team going to be comfortable giving him a big deal? Or is this a situation where he's just going to have to sign a 1 year with another team just for this season, prove that he's actually healthy, and then maybe try to get a better contract next year? Because if Christian Wilkins is in the market for a 1 year deal, a 1 year prove it deal, stay healthy, prove that, you can actually play this season and help us out, maybe we'll reward you later on, or you can hit free agency. If Christian Wilkins is out to get a 1 year deal for cheap, the Kansas City Chiefs should be jumping on this opportunity. And I don't think he would require that much money to sign. The Chiefs do have a little bit of extra cap space, and using that money to bring in a guy like Christian Wilkins, who I think is going to be motivated to get on the field, especially for a contender like the Chiefs, to get back at the Raiders, to get healthy, to earn that money back. I think this could be a win-win situation for both sides. And could you imagine if the Kansas City Chiefs were able to grab a player of this caliber to shore up one of the few question marks they have on this roster? I mean, I think right now the Chiefs virtually have no glaring weaknesses on this roster, but one of them that I do think you could kind of look at and say, yeah, they could use some help here is defensive tackle still. I still think that's a position where they could use a body like Christian Wilkins, and now they have the opportunity to do so. We'll see if the Chiefs are reported interested. I have seen the New England Patriots as another team thrown out there, since he is from Springfield, Massachusetts. Mike Vrabel recruited him in college. There's a relationship there. So we'll see what happens. I'd probably say the Patriots are the favorites for right now, but if I'm Christian Wilkins, going to the Kansas City Chiefs seems like the best option for me. But that's all I have for this one. I definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs should sign Christian Wilkins, or would you stay away from this one? This could be an opportunity to get back at the Las Vegas Raiders in a really awesome way, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. All that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com. And last but not least, check out my Twitter at showmefb. That's all I got for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.